Have you seen this video of Secretary Blinken spreading atrocity propaganda to the U.S. Senate?
A family of four, a young boy and girl, 6 and 8 years old, and their parents, around the breakfast table. The father, his eye gouged out in front of his kids. The mother's breast cut off. The girl's foot amputated. The boy's fingers cut off before they were executed. And then their executioners sat down and had a meal. That's what this society is dealing with.
Secretary Blinken wants you to believe that this actually happened, but the entire story is a lie. It has been thoroughly debunked. Most, if not all, of the atrocity stories coming out are bogus lies. We've seen them get debunked over and over. So it begs the question, where are these lies coming from? Who is behind them? And why do high-level US officials keep repeating them? Well, the answer is likely going to disgust you. You see, there is a sort of race to the bottom taking place right now between competing Israeli disaster relief groups. It's a competition to see who can tell the most disturbing story.
Oh, you saw beheaded babies? Well, I saw babies being baked in ovens.
Oh, that's nothing. I saw a pregnant mother get raped, baked, then raped again, chopped into pieces, then sold on the black market to the Hezbollah faction of the Mexican cartel.
It's all highly unusual, but the lies actually start to make sense when you learn who's behind them. You see, these stories are coming from disaster relief groups that are fighting for media attention and charitable donations. These groups are in the business of raising money. And right now, atrocity fundraising is a gold rush. Very wealthy and very emotional Jewish Westerners are opening up their wallets to organizations and charities. And these organizations are jockeying for position as the best charity to give money to. And nothing raises money like a good story. For example, Eli Beer, the president of United Hatzalah, went on a media tour around the United States, telling audiences that babies were placed in ovens and baked to death.
A little baby in an oven. They put them in, these bastards put these babies in an oven and put on the oven. We found the kid a few hours later.
This propelled him and his organization to the forefront of the media for several days, earning tons of awareness for his organization's work. He was able to leverage this media attention into several fundraisers where he managed to collect a whopping $50 million from shocked and appalled donors. But of course, the entire story was a lie. Israeli reporter Ishay Cohen investigated and determined that the story wasn't true. Another Israeli journalist, Chaim Leninson, had this to say about Eli Beer and the bullshit oven story. Like any good Jew who sees the rich, he thought about the money and told a story that does not exist. But this lie not only raised a ton of money for Eli Beer, it did considerable damage to the ceasefire movement and cost thousands of Palestinian children their lives because Zionist influencers took this bullshit story and ran wild with it. Caroline Glick tweeted, "They baked a Jewish baby alive in an oven. They murdered his father. They gang raped his mother over and over and laughed all along while they baked her baby alive in the oven. The Palestinians support Hamas. They love Hamas. No resupply.
No concessions. No mercy."
And John Pateritz, in a tweet that gained 10 million views, said, "They baked a baby in an oven." He repeats it 3 times. And then he goes on to say ceasefire one more time.
You f***ing baby murdering loving ghouls.
This manufactured story, manufactured outrage, and provided the media and the politicians with the social space needed to get behind Israel's genocidal war in Gaza. United Hatzalah did eventually concede that the story was not true, blaming it on a volunteer who thought he saw such a case, but not before raising their money and not before causing damage. Hey, I get it. It happens. Your imagination can play tricks on you. Sometimes you open an oven and you see meatloaf. Sometimes you see babies. It depends on the state of mind you're in. Unfortunately, these people seem to not only be in a victim state of mind, but also a money-hungry state of mind, because they are imagining a lot of bullshit right now, and they're using it to raise money. And United Hatzalah isn't alone in doing this. They have a competitor in the disaster relief space called Zaka. And this group, Zaka, is responsible for some of the most obscene atrocity imaginations. These people lied about beheaded babies. They lied about mass rape. They even lied about a fetus being cut out of its mother. And just like United Hatzalah, Zaka is hungry for money right now. Their head of operations, Yossi Landau, has also gone around telling media and donors all sorts of atrocity propaganda lies.
Father and mother, hands tied in the back. And on the other side, there's two children, a boy and a girl, hands tied in the back, and they were torched. You can see they were torched. Parents should see how the children are being torched, and the children should see how parents should be being torched. And in the middle, there's a full table of food with those terrorists were sitting and eating while torching them.
Sound familiar? This is the same story Tony Blinken told the United States Senate.
And then their executioners sat down and had a meal.
The problem is that it's a complete lie. According to Max Blumenthal from the Gray Zone, despite the presence of multiple potential witnesses, independent testimony corroborating Landau's claim has yet to surface. He goes on to point out that there were also no children that matched the age described by Yossi Landau in Kibbutz Be'eri. There are no recorded deaths of siblings around the age of 6 to 8 in Be'eri on October 7th. Any record of a young child killed is non-existent. So it's clear then that the story is a complete fabrication. So why did Tony Blinken share it with the United States Senate? Well, it's for the same reason they have been sharing all of their atrocity propaganda lies, to provide space and cover for the Israelis to commit war crimes in Gaza. These lies are meant to distract you from what's happening. And now, Zionists are trying to convince the world that mass rape took place. This woman is leading the so-called investigation into Hamas rape, but the investigation is off to a bad start. During a presentation, she shared a picture of a dead female Kurdish fighter from another time in another place and tried to present it as evidence of a raped victim from the Nova Music Festival.
Another image shows the body of a young woman stripped from the waist down, her underwear were torn, hung on one leg, and she was photographed on the site at the Nova Music Festival.
And it gets worse. So far, not a single first-hand testimony or video proving allegations of mass rape has been produced. The rape stories are heavily dependent on graphic second-hand claims provided by the liars of Zaka. But it doesn't seem to matter to mainstream media and Western politicians who have been repeating the claims regardless. The UK Sunday Times, for example, quoted a Zaka staffer who said it was clear they were trying to kill, to burn, to rape. Ironically, Zaka, the group pushing the rape claims, was founded by a rapist. Yehuda Meshi Sahav, who founded Zaka, was discovered to be a serial rapist of young people. For decades, he sexually abused boys and girls. And apparently, Yehuda also embezzled millions of dollars from Zaka to fund his own lavish lifestyle. As the investigation to both his rapes and financial corruption escalated, Yehuda decided to do the world a favor and just kill himself. But the corruption didn't die with him. Brad Pierce, an independent scholar who documented Zaka's corruption, described the group as the most opaque and suspicious non-governmental organization I have ever investigated. This is the group behind the mass rape claims. It's no wonder the world has questions. For Zaka, for Landau, for everyone. But like many of the Zionists spreading wild atrocity propaganda stories, Landau seems to think that these claims should be accepted without scrutiny or evidence. According to Landau, those who have questions about his stories should be killed. This person is clearly insane, yet mainstream media and politicians keep repeating his lies. For example, Landau lied about personally seeing children and babies beheaded at Kfar Aza. An Israeli spokesperson then took his fake story and declared a senior official in the Israeli coronary service has confirmed the allegation of beheaded babies. This made its way to CNN, where Sarah Sidner amplified the lie, eventually culminating in the press conference with Joe Biden sharing it with the American people. It's like a sick game of telephone, except the end result isn't just an inaccurate message. It's donation money for Zaka and genocide for Gaza. Of course, both Sarah Sidner and Joe Biden retracted their claims about beheaded babies. There are many atrocity propaganda lies to expose, and one day we will go through them one by one. For now, you should understand that these disaster relief organizations organizations are inventing, spinning, or exaggerating stories in order to raise obscene amounts of money, whether it's online via their website or in person at various events, for their corrupt and shady disaster relief organizations. And these lies are unfortunately amplified by Western media and politicians, which of course prolongs the genocidal war of retribution currently taking place in Gaza. If you would like to read more about this in detail, please click the link in either the comment section or the description of this video. I want to make clear that I'm not the one investigating these claims. That important work is being done by the Gray Zone, Electronic Intifada, and Mondoweiss, and many others. Please take it upon yourselves to follow them on Twitter, read their work, and support their work. Follow for more.